Welcome back to the Medcurity podcast. Today we are talking about a topic that might make a lot of healthcare leaders uncomfortable, and that is security breaches. When people hear the word breach, they often imagine this single dramatic moment with alarms blaring and systems locked and chaos everywhere. But that's not actually how most breaches happen. In reality, breaches are almost never sudden. They are a process. They unfold in stages, and understanding these stages is one of the most powerful things that you can do to reduce risk and respond well if something ever goes wrong. So today, we want to walk you through what really happens before a breach, during a breach, and after a breach, without any scare tactics and without any technical overload. So, one of the biggest misconceptions about breaches is that they are caused by a single catastrophic mistake. In reality, most breaches are the result of small, ordinary issues that stack up over time. A system that wasn't updated, an account that wasn't removed, a policy that existed but wasn't followed, a staff member who clicked something while under pressure. Breaches don't usually start with hackers breaking down the door. They start with the door being left slightly open. That's why understanding the anatomy of a breach matters so much. Let's start with the part that gets the least attention. What happens before a breach? This phase can last weeks, months, or even years. Before a breach ever becomes visible, there are usually quiet conditions in place. Maybe multi-factor authentication isn't turned on everywhere. Maybe previous employees still have access. Maybe software updates are delayed because things seem to be working fine. Maybe phishing training hasn't been happening recently. None of these may feel urgent on their own. This is also the phase where attackers are often just watching. They may be scanning for outdated systems, reused passwords, or exposed credentials from past data leaks. In many cases, access is gained long before anyone notices. Now, this is why your security risk analysis matters so much. Not because it's going to predict the future, but because it will shine a light on those quiet vulnerabilities. Most breaches don't begin with malice, they begin with invisibility. Eventually, something changes. Maybe a staff member clicks on a link, maybe a stolen password finally gets used, maybe ransomware deploys after weeks of dormancy, maybe suspicious activity is flagged, or maybe it isn't. This is the phase that people picture when they think about breaches, but even here, things are confusing rather than dramatic. Systems may start to slow down, files might look different, someone might notice that they can't log in, or an external party like a vendor or law enforcement might alert the organization that something is wrong. What matters most in this phase is not panic or speed, it is clarity. Organizations that have thought through incident response ahead of time tend to make calmer, better decisions. They know who to contact, they know what systems matter most, they know when to pause and gather information instead of reacting impulsively. And importantly, they document everything as it happens. Now, the aftermath, this last phase, the aftermath of a breach is where the real work begins. This phase often involves investigation, figuring out what happened, when it started, and what information may have been affected. It can include working with IT teams, forensic experts, legal counsel, and sometimes insurance carriers. There are decisions to make about notifications, about remediation, about what needs to change so that this doesn't happen again. And here's something that surprises a lot of people. Most organizations don't fail in the aftermath because of the breach itself. They struggle because they don't have documentation. When regulators ask what safeguards were in place, or when was your last risk analysis, or how do you manage access and training, those answers matter just as much as the incident itself. And this is also where your corrective action plan comes into play. The strongest organization doesn't just fix the immediate problem, they strengthen the system that allowed it to happen. So, if listening to any of this feels intimidating, then just for clarity, I want you to know that a breach does not automatically mean failure. What matters is how prepared you were beforehand, how you responded in the moment, and then how you improved afterward. Most breaches are survivable, many are preventable, and nearly all become learning moments when organizations take steady, intentional approaches to security. So the goal isn't to eliminate all risk. The goal is to reduce it and then to be ready if something happens anyway. And if you want to reduce the chances of ever having to walk through this life cycle, then start small. Pay attention to access, run regular risk analyses, train staff in realistic ways, document what you already do. Have a basic incident response plan, even if it's simple. These steps won't just help you avoid breaches, they'll help you handle them well if they ever occur. So breaches don't happen in a moment, they happen in phases, and understanding those phases gives healthcare leaders power instead of fear. If this episode helped clarify what really happens before, during, and after a breach, then share it with someone on your team. And if you're looking for tools that help you identify risks earlier, document safeguards, and respond with confidence, Medcurity is built to support you through every stage. So thanks for listening, and we will see you next time on the Medcurity podcast.